Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I just realized I had no audio on. I had muted my audio. So let's try that again. Good morning, everyone. Or good day, everybody. Yeah, I forgot to turn on my microphone. So how's everybody doing out there, first of all? Please give me feedback and let me know if the audio is working, because I forgot to click the button. I want to make sure it is working now. So I'm going to say hi again to everybody. So we have Jerry, who's first in. Morning, Jerry. It's early morning for you, I know. Hey, Dominic. Hey, Dennis. Good morning. Carl. Good afternoon over in the UK. And to Matt German, also in the UK. Good afternoon. Let's see who else is out there. So it's good now. Thanks, Jerry. Yeah, I just had one of those moments. I forgot to hit the button to unmute myself. You can hear the Irish tone now. Let's see. Hey, good morning, Sergio. Hey, Track. How are you? Wife mode off. Wife mode off. I like that. Okay. How's everyone doing this morning? We should have a bit of it should not be a very long stream this morning because we are unboxing a laser. It's not a big laser. It's one of those more mobile cantilever designs, and it's the Ortur Aufero Laser 1. Now, this comes in multiple options, so it's a nice idea that it has multiple options with the printer. Let's see. Anne, good morning. Oh, good afternoon, sorry. You're in the Netherlands. Good afternoon. Let's see. We have a couple group of people on. So, if audio and video is good, how's everyone else doing? Please let me know how your day is going. There is obviously a 30-second delay between what you type in chat and what I see, so please bear with me on that. A laser to the next purchase. Well, you know, if you don't have a lot of space, these type of cantilever design lasers are really nice. Especially if you like. As far as I'm concerned, a lot of people take diode lasers and they burn with them. I don't believe it, but diode laser is really a burning or a cutting tool. It's good for engraving and so on, but it's not really a cutting tool. That's in my opinion. Because I have I have a CO2 that's ideal for cutting. But yes, please smash that like button, guys. Everybody, smash the like button. Give it a thumbs up. If you're not already following, please do so. If you're new to the channel, if you want to support the channel, there is a pinned link at the top of the chat that you can actually donate towards through my PayPal if you wish to. But obviously, like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Still trying to design parts to make my printer print 4 colors. Hey, old curmudgeon, how are you? Printing 4 colors, that's only using 4 extruders, and you can do that. There's already a system out there that will do that called 3D Chameleon, and it's basically using a series of micro switches, and it uses you mount your multiple extruders with all Bowden fed, and you get a proprietary designed unit that feeds in the different filaments into it. You should look into that, 3D Chameleon. Carl, I looked at the Z1, but 2 months until available in the UK. Yeah, they are. Yeah, the Congo Z1 is a nice little machine. I have one. Right. Oh, I just dropped the bracket for it. It's where I keep my lasers mounted. This is this Congo Z1. It's a nice little machine. Some simple little brackets I designed to mount it on the rail here. A few minutes in Tinkercad, easy enough to put together. The Z1 is good. The Ortur Laser Master 2 Pro is a really good laser, which is this one up here. I do have another one here, but it's not available yet, so I was told not to talk about it. But it's coming. There is another one coming. Let's see, Jerry. I haven't mounted it yet, but the blower I got today feels like it moves much more air than the other one. Okay. What blower is that, Olkamajan? I know you were setting up an extraction system for your laser. I have one as well for mine, but your Z1 is a beast. Yeah, the Z1 is a good little machine. There are some differences between the Z1 and the Ortur Laser Master 2 Pro. They both have similar lasers for output, and you can upgrade the lasers to a 10-watt output laser, which is basically 2 5-watt output diodes. But there are some other additional, so you make sure you look into the differences between them before you buy. I'll pick your brain when I do. Sure. Okay. Audra, good morning. How are you, Audra? So please, let's see. So let's get into this box. Let's see this unboxed, and we'll have a look at this laser. So it's the Ortur Aufero Laser 1. It is a 180 by 180 cut area, which is slightly larger than most of those cantilever style. They're normally a little bit smaller on one axis. And it comes in 3 different modules. It comes with an LU2-2, which is a 7-watt output laser, or 7-watt laser input for, like, it's good for engraving, but it's got a really fine laser output beam, which is a 0.07 by 0.06 laser output beam, which is pretty small. And then let's see what else we have. The LU2-4 short focus laser, which has a 0.12 by 0.15 laser beam output cutting point, focal point, and that is a 20-watt power in. And then you have the LU2-4 long focus, which actually comes with an air assist built in. So that I'm not sure what's in this. The nearest RVB 4-inch fan line. Okay, cool. So let's see. Let's get this open up and see what's inside. It's not a heavy package. Get up closer to the camera so you can see. I believe you can see if I go to the close-up camera with this. You can see what's inside. Okay. I'll take off the covering, foam. So we have user manual. The compulsory safety goggles. We have over here some test pieces and assembly brackets and so on. We have what appears to be a bit of cable or ducting and some spacers, which we'll get into in a while. We have a laser module, which is that's the LU2-4 short focus laser module. In this kit we also have the LU2-2, which is the low powered fine detail focus laser, and we have the LU2-4 long focus that has the air assist option. So this comes with all three. This kit that I have comes with all three options. Let's see, I bought 3D Chameleon because I thought it would be easier than making my own, but that's down to setting the retraction settings on the Chameleon. If you reach out to them, is his name Ben Steely? I think it's Ben Steely. I can get you his. You can find him on the 3D Chameleon Facebook or on the website. You can reach out to him. He's very good at responding. If you're running into it, you can contact him, and he'll help out. I'll report back when I have it mounted and tested. Okay, let me leave it on wide. I want it low because I want to be able to put my laser over here, so you can get it close to it. So I'm going to bring it out to the wide angle. It might be easier. Let's go wide camera again. Let's see what else. So we have 3 laser modules in this kit that I got. We have our power supply, another spacer unit, the USB cable, which I already have one set up over there that I'll use later. Okay. We have foam packing. We have a bit of acrylic. Oh, this is this is used for adjusting the short focus laser. Cardboard on both ends. More foam packing. And we have our laser, or a whole unit. So let me get this out roughly. And I think that's everything. Yep, empty box. So it comes pre-assembled, and it's light because these are acrylics, not metal, so it's actually very, very light. We'll have to adjust these concentric nuts a little bit, but that's easy enough. There's a little bit of play in them, but that's easy enough to fix. So we have 3 in this kit. I got has 3 laser modules, so I have all 3. I have the LU2-2, which is the very fine detail laser beam for very fine detail engraving. The long focus engraver, the short focus laser, which is also good for engraving at higher speeds. And then I have the longer focus engraver that actually has the air assist that comes with it. If you look, let me go to close-up camera. In here, that's the air assist right there. That's nice. Okay, so let's get to instructions. Let's see what's here. Close-up camera's a little low. Flap is half unseen. Well, I got rid of it out of it anyway. The retraction is fine. It jams feeding back in, building some new parts that will hopefully fix it. Okay, it's jamming going back in, from what I know of the Chameleon, because of the Chameleon. I'm going to address this. The Chameleon is designed that when you use the plastic units that come with it, they're designed to shape the tip of the filament. So what it does is it does high speed. When it does the retraction, it feeds forward, feeds back, and then on the high speed retraction in and out through the aperture of the connector, it actually shapes the end of the filament. So when it feeds back in later on, it actually feeds cleanly. So you may not be doing enough of that, but do talk with I think is it Bob? Is that Bob or Jim? I can't remember his name. It's been a while since I spoke to him, but if you reach out to them, he'll respond to you. He's very good at getting back. So let's see what the instructions. The link to download the e-copy of the user manual. The instructions are: there is QR codes to get to the instructions. The user manual, assembly, and the focus video. There is instructions there to get to it. And also in the back you have how to reach their support, Instagram, Facebook group, Twitter, and so on. Now, this is simple enough to set up. You have one cable, and you choose your laser. That's all you have to do. So I'm going to do, let's see, this deal to do, that's a 7 watt. Let's do the 20 watt, the long focus 20 watt, which is this one. Let me open up each of the laser heads and show them to you first of all. Good morning, Jeff. So, it has 3 lasers in this kit that I got, which is probably the higher end kit. There is the L2U, which is a 7 watt input, so it's probably a 1.5 watt or 1 watt output. It also comes with the LU2-4 long focus, which is a and that has a shield, and this has the option to attach an air assist to it. You screw on your air assist inside in it, and you have an air assist option. And it comes with, well, it depends what you want to do. If you want to engrave, I see what you're saying about filter over bot, but if you're engraving something that's really fine detailed, the smaller laser, the lower power laser, has a finer beam, so it allows you to do that. Like if you want to etch something really, really small. If you want to do deeper engraving, or engraving at higher speeds with less fine detail, then the 20 watt, which is the LU2-4 short focus, which is this one, as you can tell, is short focus, and this is magnetic. It's nice. This one would be used for that because it actually gives you the ability to either engrave faster, but would not have as fine a detail of a laser point. And if you want to do some cutting, then the LU2-4 short focus, or long focus, sorry, with the air assist, allows you to put an air assist on it, so you can actually feed air into it while you're cutting, if you want to do cutting. So, and that's this unit here with the nozzle on the end, and you can attach the air assist. It even comes with all the parts you need for the air assist. It comes with the air. See, the air assist comes with the nozzle for the air assist. Let me do the close-up camera. It comes with the nozzle for the air assist, which is this. So this is the air assist, and this is your air input. And you have couplers as well for the different types, if you want to use something like a PTFE style or air feed. So it actually comes with all the kit in this one. So, which do you want to do? We're not going to do cutting because it's just way too much smoke in an open area. I'd have to set it up in my chamber to do cutting. So which laser do you want? 20 watt, 7 watt, or 20 watt air assist? Let me know, guys, which you prefer. This just slides on. That's one issue with the Z1. No room for air nozzle. Yes, it does, because and others also have that issue that they're very short focus, and they have no room for air assist. Whereas if you want to add air assist, you need to go with something like the Ortur, like this one, and you can actually buy it with just that air assist unit. The prices are the LU2, which the lower power output. This with the lower power output is on sale right now on Amazon. Is on sale right now for $220.79. The LU2-4 short focus, which is this one for the short focus laser, is $303.57. Or for the same price, you can get the long focus with the air assist option for the same price for $303.59 for these two. So you can get one or the other. Now the whole kit with all of the options in it, I didn't get a price on that. I didn't know that was a kit. Well, if you're not going to be near it, you can take the shield off. The shield is added for protection, but it's not a requirement. I would leave it on if I was you, but it's your choice. And just be safe, whatever you do. What is this? This is tubing of some form. Hollow tubing is like the covering they have on the wire, so I don't know. Let's see. Okay, so which laser do you want to use, guys? 7 watt, 20 watt, 20 watt short focus, or 20 watt long focus. Just let me know which you prefer me to use. Assembling this is easy. You just take whatever laser you want, you slide it on here, and you put a screw on the side to hold it in place. Now you can have an option, I think it's for $40 or $50, where you can actually have a manual adjuster here that you can actually screw up and down, so you don't have to be loosening the bolts and moving it up and down each time. If nothing else, you have a drill. Okay? Yeah, you could always do that, but you'd have to tap it and thread it if you want to put an air system or something else. So guys, what laser would you like to see? You tell me the laser, and I will attach it here, because that's all it is. That and plug in the top. Which laser would you like me to use? I like that Ortur doesn't come with an external power brick. It comes with just one of these. I actually like that. I don't like these heavy power bricks that some of them come with. They actually give you the supply you need straight off the bat. And this is 110, 220, so you can plug it in anywhere in the world. And then we have to run over a cable, a USB cable. I'm going to set this up so it's easier for you. So guys, which do you want me to use? Which laser do you prefer to use? Go big, fill the room with smoke. 20 watt with air assist. Okay, now I'm not going to run, I don't have an air pump right here. It's over there set up for my other laser. So I won't be using the air assist, but if you want me to use a long focus with the option of the air assist, I can do that. Which would be this baby. And to attach it, as simple as getting these screws, attach it on the side here. I'd probably put it on the outside. And sliding it onto the dovetail. Bigger the better. That's what she said, right, Carl? Okay, so just temporarily put that on there. Now, as I said, there's a bit of a plane. That's I need to get a. I didn't get a wrench. I did. The bigger the job, the bigger. I'm not repeating that. Oh, curmudgeon. There's no way I'm repeating that. You're going to get me in trouble. Got a bit of a snug. The eccentric nuts are in here. Just needed to be tightened up a little bit. Maybe a fraction more. Just get the wobble out of it. That looks good. Paper bags everywhere. Okay, before I do anything, I'm not going to cut my table. So, I have a board that I'm going to work on. And all I need to do is plug these in. Plug in one cable here on top to power the laser, and then I need to put in a grounding wire on top. Listen to one of these screws, just loosen it a little bit. Slide in the ground wire, and that's it. Done. Nice and easy, quick assembly. Okay, so I'm not going to do the air assist, but the air assist on this is easy enough to screw into place. It also has an adjuster. I'll show you some of the components. So you have your air assist. Let's see, get my laser out here into where the it's going to be operating anyway. Let me get rid of some of these temporarily off the table. I have too many bags here. And let me go to my close-up camera. So the air assist is basically these two units, and one attaches in here, screws on here. Kind of tricky to screw on. There you go. And then you attach your hose. If you get a pneumatic connection hose, you attach the pneumatic connector hose here, and it screws up inside here, and that gives you your air assist. Pretty straightforward. If you're running multiple feed lines and you want to adjust the flow rate of the air, you actually have a coupler to do that as well. So this is adjustable to adjust your flow rate of your air. So it comes with pretty much everything you need except actually it did come with a tubing. That's what that tubing is for. This tubing is your air assist tubing. And then you have everything you have to set up. The only thing you need is to have the your actual air pump. That's all you need. It does not come with an air pump. No, you can choose whatever air pump you want. Those fish tank air pumps often are especially the larger ones. They do a good job of it. You can get them on. You can get a decent air pump like the one I have for my CO2. I think cost me $60. But that's only, and you really only need air assist if you're cutting. Really. I don't think you need air assist for anything else. Yeah, I like the look of it too. And it's light, it's portable. You can take it from point A to point B. It's super portable. You know, it's easy enough to pack it up, and these are small. You can put it all into a bag and carry it easily. So, focusing this machine, this one comes with the focus knob. We put this underneath. So this goes, let me move this cable for a second. This actually goes under the frame. Let me loosen this out of my way. This actually goes up underneath the frame here, not under here, so it's distance from here to the table. Then you loosen this, drop it down. You're in focus. That's it. That's all you need. No messing. Nice and tidy. Easy to do. Fold on your safety shield. And you're good to go. Now, we do have some sample materials. I'm going to use what they gave me. I need to measure these to see what size. It's nice and light. I have other lasers. I'm a fan of the Ortur ones because they put a lot of thought into it, and they do a lot of R&D. And they add features like air assist and so on. A lot of people don't do. And any other laser from Ortur can be plugged in here. It doesn't matter. So let me get a measuring a ruler. So these little samples of wood are 55 by 90 millimeters. So I'm going to go over and we're going to add it up into. I'm going to plug it in. Powering it on is actually in the bottom. It says power and reset here. Power and reset. So you just hold in the power button for a few seconds. This needs to be moved. Let me do one thing. I want to change the direction of this so it points the laser upwards. There you go. So the cable is tidier. So the device is detected. So we're going to go into. I'm going to share my screen out so you guys get to see what I'm doing. So let me see. Where am I? Share screen. So this is Lightburn. I like Lightburn as for all my laser work. And I'm going to go to devices. And I'm going to do create manually, and it's a Gerbil board. It's over USB. and I'm going to call it Ortur L1, and it's a 180 by 180. Hit next, homing to the front left, which is where I want over here. Hit next, and click finish, and OK. Now let's go back to our, now that that's done, let's go back to our close-up camera, and we're going to see if our laser moves. So actually, I'm going to go into move. It's uncom. Oh, sorry, I should have gone back to share screen. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Let me go back to share my screen again. So on share screen, what I did was, once I set it up, I went over here to the devices, and this is a laser. Ortur L1, and it's on COM port 21, and my laser just homed, and I'm going to do move, so I'm going to actually do move. Okay, it needs to be reset, sorry. Okay, so I'm going to try move. It's ready to go. Unlocked. Okay. It should be good to home. Yeah. This is an air pump. Yeah, I have a similar air pump to what you're using, Jerry. I thought I unlocked it already. This should be, it says unlocked and it is unlocked. Oh, that's unusual. So let me go back here. I'll figure out why this is not responding. Actually, no, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go to, they have an SD card in here somewhere. I'm sure I saw an SD card in one of these kits. Did they? They don't actually. I thought they did. Let me have a look to see if they have any sample files. I'm just checking if I have an SD card, a micro SD card in there. No. That's for focusing. They do not come with a micro SD card, which is kind of unusual for Ortur. At least none. Let me just open this out and take this out. Yeah, no SD card. Hey Mylan, how are you? So they don't seem to have an SD card. So since we have our build area, just give me a second. Let me load up a file. We'll get a sample file. Everyone's saying hi to Mylan. Let's see. No, I want to get something pretty simple. See how it comes out. So let me go through my files here, guys. I'm going to find a simple enough file. See how it works out. It's unusual they don't give a sample. They generally do. Okay, that's way blown out of proportion. Okay, so we need to shrink that down So I have an image here. I'm going to shrink it way down. And let's see how big that is. So I'm gonna let's do the 2-in-1 close up, and I'm gonna the laser is homed, so I'm going to try and do a frame. So that's where it's engraving. And I'm also going to do so we should be good there. Hey Mylon, yeah, so we should be good there. I need to go into speeds and feeds. Let me get this in the right spot and see how it goes. Again, I'm going to try framing it. Move it over a little bit so it wasn't in the right spot there. Try again, quick frame. I could probably make this a little bit bigger. Okay, let's give it a try, guys. So let's go back to the speeds and feeds. And this is going to be, this is a bit high. So let me go back to share my screen again. Where am I? Share screen. So what I'm going to do is, this is what I'm printing. Actually, it rotated a little bit, so that's okay. I can fix that. And we're going to set the speeds. We're going to do an engraving. I think 4,500 should be okay at 90%. That should be, might be a bit high. I'm going to drop that to 70%. We'll give it a try and see how it comes out. If not, we can always do another one. And let's see if it fires. It's firing, and while it's doing that and I'm turning away, let me switch over to my 2-in-1 close-up. I'm not looking while I put on my glasses. My cool glasses. And that is burning nicely at 70%, yeah. This has a maximum speed of 5,000 millimeters a minute. Now, 5,000 millimeters a minute at 70%, this could easily do it. Now, I will say, when you're moving really fast, you'd want to hold this down. And this does have screw holes on each end, because it also does come with, where are they? Little brackets, L brackets that actually go into the sides. You just supply the bolts into the side so you can actually fix it down onto something. So these do come with that. It was burning a little bit of plywood, which this would cut this plywood also. And that's fast. That did that really fast. Now I can upsize it and do it again. I'm sure it will fit on if I enlarge it. So let me do a frame again. Actually, no. Let me get a different image, because that rose came out really nice. So let's see. We'll open another file, and we do image files. In my download section, just let me find the right file. Oh yeah, let's do that one. Okay, let me change this. I'm actually going to do a different logo. I think I have to come down a lot more in size to make that fit. Just let me give this a frame, and then I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm going to keep the settings as they are, but I'm going to do a different type of grading. Let me show you what I'm going to do. Let me share my screen again. Share the screen. So I'm going to do the Avengers logo, but I'm going to do it a little different. Instead of doing a normal cut, I am going to go into these settings, and I'm going to do it as we're going to select grayscale for the image, because it is grayscaled. We're going to leave the settings as they are. Actually, I'm going to bring them down a little bit, and I'm going to turn around, and instead of just doing a line, I'm going to do a fill. I'm going to do 2 lines actually on it. I'm going to do OK on that. So I'm going to do this one, and then I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to, where am I? Trace the image and do OK. And by tracing the image, I'm then going to assign another color. Oh no, I can do fill. I can do line and fill. So we'll just do the 2 of them. So I'm going to do these 2. So it's actually going to do an engraving, and it's going to actually go around the outer edge as well. If a fish tank air pump is enough for assist, the fan on the Z1 head will probably blow enough. It's enough to move. Okay, on the Z1, the fan on it is designed to cool the fan on the Z1 is designed to cool the heatsink here. This heatsink area of it is to blow air through this to keep it cool, right? Because these are heatsinks if you look at them, right? Let me show you in the close-up camera there. These are heatsinks, and it's designed to cool that. Will it move some air? Yes. Is it suitable enough air to really be deemed an air assist? Maybe. There's a difference though. When you're blowing air with a fan that's actually being diffused through a system, it's actually coming out in a wider area, so it's going to move smoke around. But an air assist is a focus point of air that forces air out through a nozzle that will actually put out flame, and it also blows away any of the burnt material or the carbon material that's left over there after the laser burns. It actually blows it out of the way as the laser burns it. So it actually, when you're going to cutting, it actually makes cutting. It helps a lot with cutting. So the fan on top will help dissipate the smoke somewhat, but it will not help you when you're doing a cut. Hopefully that explains it. It's about the force direction of the air in an air assist makes a big difference when you're actually, because you're going to blow material out of the way as you cut it. So hopefully that helps you all, come on, June. Give it a try, but I bet you'll find that if you use an air assist and you're doing cutting, it cuts faster and deeper. Also remember, when you're cutting, I'll use this as an example because this has a line on it, and I'll do it in the close camera. If you're cutting a material, now you won't cut this thick, but if you're cutting material like this, as an example, and you want to cut through this material, what's going to end up happening is, if you focus to the top, it'll cut so deep. And let's say you're doing a 3mm or 5mm piece of material you want to cut. You want your focus point to be the center of the piece. The reason why is that it's going to burn there to reach focus, and then beyond focus, it'll burn out the other side. And if it's really thick material, you want to do a pass, go down and drop your Z a little bit, do another pass, drop your Z a little bit, do another pass. And by doing that, you're moving your focal point down about 1 or 1.5mm each pass. That will actually allow the energy, because lasers operate by focusing the energy of the light into a fine point, which is what makes it cut or burn. And you want to keep that focal point where it's cutting, and you can go, and because when it burns, it'll burn a little bit beyond that, and that's where you want it, your destination of depth should be where the focal point is, and maybe a little past it. So that's why you should move your Z down after a pass. You should drop your Z, do another pass, and thicker materials. Yeah, if you add assist, it makes a difference. It does make a big difference. So let's try this. I'm going to frame this one more time. Shift and frame. I think I'm off the refraction. We should be good there. Right, let's burn this and see how it looks. So it's going to do a raster engrave, which is the fill side to side movement to fill in the center. And then it's going to do a vector engrave, which is going to go around the outside and actually draw the outline the shape. So it actually gives it. And I always raster engrave first, and then vector engrave afterwards. Because when you raster engrave first, there's going to be some inconsistencies along the edge, and when you do a vector engrave around the edges, the vector engrave actually cleans up the edges, gives you a nicer clean finish. Let's give this a run. Run. This is generating a lot more smoke now. I don't know if you can see that in camera. Can you? Somewhat. What I often do is I break it into two jobs. One will be fill, one will be line. For the same thing, I'd often do that as well. So I'd run one to see how it looks, and if it looks fine, then I'd run the line, and I could run it multiple times if I want a cleaner and more defined outer edge. So if anyone, any other questions on this? It's a nice little laser. I love the kit that I got has all three optional heads on it, which is really nice. So again, the LU2-2 is designed for it's a long focus, and it's designed for really fine detail because the laser beam point is really small. The L2-4 short focus, which is this one, which has a detachable laser guard. This has got a slightly larger focal point in the laser beam, and it's really good. It will work for cutting, and it will work for faster engraving or deeper engraving. It's better for that. And then the LU2-4 short focus, which is the one that's on the laser right now, is designed for deeper. It has the air assist option, so it's designed for cutting deeper. And so your output would be deeper engravings. And if you're using the air assist and you're doing cutting, it will do it in 1 or 2 passes. The air assist really helps that. Hey Gary, I've missed the start, so I have to watch the setup later. The setup is easy. The setup is take it all out of the box, put it where you want it, attach your laser, whichever laser head you get, attach the laser, plug it in, and link it to your software, being Lightburn or Laser Gerbil or whichever you're using, and you're done. That's all you need to do. I've already did one engraving on the other side of that. I'll show it to you in a moment. I did it really fast. So this is the 20 watt. Okay, the prices are with the 7 watt laser. It's $220.79 right now from Ortur, and they do have a warehouse in the US. If you buy it from Ortur, they ship it to you direct from the warehouse. So that's the LU2-2, which is a finer laser beam. That is $220.79. The short focus, the LU2-4 laser head, is a 20 watt laser head, and it's $303.59. Again, direct from them. There is a link below to Ortur. I have an affiliate link. If you're going to buy, use my affiliate link below, please. It gives a tiny amount to me. It's not much, but it's only a tiny amount. And then the one that's on the laser right now is the LU2-4 long focus. This one is, again, it's a slightly larger beam than the other two, but it does have the ability of adding an air assist, which comes as part of the kit. You can add an air assist unit to it to help you with your cutting, if you're going to do cutting. And that one is $303.59 also. So the 220 watts are the same price. One comes with the air assist, one does not. One is short focus, one is long focus. The long focus is the one with the air assist. And then the cheaper one, which is $220.79, is the lower 7 watt input laser. But that laser is fine if you want to do fine detail engraving, because its laser focal point is much finer. The focal points are, again, let's recite the focal points. The LU2-2, which is the cheaper one, which is 222.79, is 0.07 by 0.06 focus. So it's almost a perfect square on the focal point on this. The short focus length one, which is a 20 watt, which is the LU2-4, is a 0.12 by 0.15 beam focal point, and then the one that's on right now, which is the LU2-4, the one you're watching right now, is a 0.17 by 0.25 laser beam, and that's the one that comes with air assist. Yes, please hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Let's this run, and then we'll actually, this seems to be, the air assist will actually help blow away smoke. There is a bit of charring on that, so I could actually even drop the settings a little lower. This, because it's cutting, it's set at 70% or 60%. This might even cut through when it does the outline. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, any other questions on it? It's an easy setup. It's light. It's mobile. You can bring it wherever you want. It does have all the safety features that is Ortur are known for. It does have the sensor on it that if you tilt, it'll shut off the laser. There's a tilt sensor built in. It does have the sensor, the safety feature that if the X or Y axis fails to move when the laser is on for a period of time, and it's short, the laser will shut itself off. It will not run if one of the axes is not moving, and because it doesn't want to stay in one spot and burn a hole. And it does have the ability to do stuff like it has the feature to what's it called again? To, if you get disconnected from the computer, the laser will shut itself off because it won't stay on without getting instructions to move. So it will actually shut itself down. Thank you. Thanks, Carl. Yeah, please. Then buy direct from them and their support is really good. Now, since you're in the UK, their support is actually in Portugal. In the UK, they have support in Portugal, so they're in the EU. So the time zone is not that bad. It's within an hour or two of you. And if you reach out to them, their support are good. I've dealt with their support guys; they're really, really helpful, and they know their stuff, and their English is excellent. You don't have problems there with communication. They know their machines. Their support actually do testing of the product in house. They take the machines. They help with firmware development and all with engineering. They actually give feedback before the product's released. Their support guys give input on the performance of the machine, on the output, on issues they find with firmware, and they actually have a say in whether the product is released or not. I have had Shane, yes, you are correct. I did have one of their support guys on, and actually I deal with him an awful lot. I did have one of their support guys, and he's really good. They're knowledgeable. They're super helpful, and they have printers as well. But their biggest area is their lasers. But they do have printers, and I believe they're working on some new printers as well at the moment. But they also have some new lasers coming that they're working on as well. I believe some more changes. These are like the LaserMaster 2 Pro, which is this one that I have here beside me. That's the larger platform machine, and that's really good. And they, I think they are working on more coming up later this year, like in the new year. They are working on some new stuff. Now I don't know how late in the year, but they're always in development. They've actually recently released an enclosure kit, a metal enclosure kit for the LaserMaster 2 Pro, but you can use it for any other lasers. And it has an extraction tent, and it's got a proper hinge lid that you have to assemble it, and then you mount your laser in there, you fix your laser into it. But they do have a metal enclosure, no tent enclosure, it's a full metal enclosure. Yeah, it's great that they have support in the EU. It's really good, and the guys in the EU support the US as well. I think they have support here, I'm not sure, but I know for sure they have in Portugal, and then they obviously have it in Asia if you're in Asia. But the guys in Europe basically take care of all English communication and support. So no matter where you are, if you have questions and it's in English, they're going to be the guys responding to you. The enclosure is pricey, but it's metal. It's not. It's not a like I have a 3D printer enclosure that I use over here if I'm using a laser in the house for long burns or whatever. Basically, I put this board inside that enclosure, and then I can bring in my larger lasers that I have here, and I mount them inside, and I put them in on it, and I can engrave in there, and it has an extractor on it. But if you're doing it's a metal enclosure, so it's going to cost money, but it also so it doesn't catch fire. A tinted one could eventually catch on fire. A metal one won't. What has issues? The enclosure? Tell me a little bit more. I don't have an enclosure. I don't have one of their enclosures, so I can't speak to it. It's too small for. Actually, it's designed for that machine, I believe. For a YRR. I don't have the enclosure, so I can't speak to it. I've seen other people set it up and put the Laser Master 2 Pro into it, and it fits. So I don't know. I can't speak to that. If you have the enclosure, you should feed that back to them that you're having issues with it. But it's made for their laser, so. Oh, because of the rotary, because of the Z height. Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to give that feedback. You'll have to make changes to the design, maybe. But that's my raster engraving, or vector engraving, cutting the edge. I'm holding it down because it's moving really fast. It's not going to make a difference at that speed. This is why I separate the jobs out. So we have our Avengers logo. There's a bit of charring, and the way I take care of charring like this, you could use acetone and get the dampen the top with acetone and rub it, and that would actually clean it. That would clean some of it up. If you get a lot of charring, actually that went pretty deep. If you get a lot of charring, what what you can do is put the painter's tape, the blue one, not the outside one, which is plastic, but the blue painter's tape. Yes, Llama, I know you love me for this. But if you put the blue painter tape over it and then engrave, the tar, that black stuff is actually tar from the burning, and the tar would actually stick to the tape when you peel the tape off afterwards. So Gary, you joined late, so here's the rows we did earlier on, which is pretty fast. That took about less than a minute to engrave, which is really nice. And then that's the logo we just did. Let me see if I can do one or two more. Let me see what other images I have here. I'm going to have a quick look. I'll just do the images. This one probably will not come out great, but I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to try my Astro Printer logo, which is really, this is the old logo. I'm working on a new one. So let's try a new piece of material. Oh, I have a rotary that I built myself also. Yeah, tape on it makes a really big difference. So let's see how this frames up. So let me do a frame. Wrong spot, too low, no, too big. Okay. Let's try that again. I'm going to try it one more time to make sure I have a framed right. I think this will work. Yeah, I'm going to do my logo, and I'm going to do this is fast. So I'm going to leave it at the same speed and settings that we were doing a while ago. Actually, I might actually drop the percentage. I may increase the speed again. 4800. I don't want it too dark. So let's see how this works out. So I'm actually going to do my logo, and we'll see how it comes out. So let's go with those settings. I increase the speed I left it 60% because the last one burned pretty deep. So I left it 60%. And there's one other thing I want to change actually in the setting. 1 second. I want to change it to, I don't want constant power mode. Scan angle is okay. Grayscale. No, not halftone. Grayscale should work. And enable pass through. Do you think the E2L2 would be best for Norton? Best for Norton? What do you mean by Norton? You mean what do you mean by Norton? Do you think the EU2L2 would be best for Norton while tile method? Explain what you mean. I have this set right now at let's see, the speed is set at 4,200 and at 62%. Actually, just let me 62%. Oh, white tile engraving. On white tile engraving, you're not etching the tile. You're only burning paint off the tile, and whatever paint you put over the tile, you're embossing in it. It will do it if you want really fine detail. Again, you choose a laser based on the fine detail and the speed you want to go at. So the LU2-2 being a finer focal point, meaning you can do a lot more finer detail without having lines bleeding into each other. Like you see some of these things with the Aztec design, where they have some of them have the Aztec design, like the circular Aztec design, and you have Darth Vader's head in it. That's really fine detail. If you want to make that small to fit in a small area, I would use a smaller laser beam, which is the LU2-2. If I was doing it in a larger item, or if I was worried about vertical lines and horizontal lines being slightly different, I mean points of a millimeter difference in width, I would go with the finer laser. But it will take longer to do it because you have to move slower because it's a less powerful laser. It's only 7 watt in, which is 1.5 watt out, I believe. Now if you want to go faster and you're not too worried about the width of the lines being off that much, then you can go either with a short focus laser, which is really good for engraving because the difference between the width of each line is between 0.12 by 0.15, which is not much of a difference, but it is a wider line, so the fine detail, if your stuff is really close together, they won't show up. They'll actually burn into each other. So it's a really, really small. But if you want to go for portrait mode, if you're doing portrait images, the smaller laser is better because it'll be able to do finer points to give you more variation in the images. But again, it depends. You'd have to test it out. But I would say for fine detail, I would go to smaller laser. Like if you look at this one, if you look here, some of the details of these have actually bled into each other because I was using a larger beam. If I was using a smaller beam, and I can switch over in a moment to the smaller beam if you want, and we'll do the same image. But in a smaller beam, you would actually see more detail stand out. And we'll try it. Let me do this one, and then we'll switch over, and I'll put in another card, and I'll go back to the rose image, and I'll do it with the smaller laser. The 0.8 by 0.8 dot is nice. It's actually a 0.07 by 0.06 is what they have. You don't need to go past the shield to tune it because you have spacers. They come with little metal spacer blocks like these for your focal distance. Now, if you want to do a fine focus, the shields on this actually pops up, so you can see whatever you want when you're doing a fine focus, and then you can pop it back down again. And they're adjustable for height, so you can actually loosen them and move them up and down. So they're not fixed. The only one that's fixed is a short focus one. Is this one, and it's magnetic. So you can focus it and then if you want to do a visual focus with a fine point. And they do give you a black card, so you focus on the black card to the smallest point if you don't want to use a spacer. So let's give this a whirl, and let's see how it turns out. Let me see, where's my mouse? There you go. Okay, let's give this a quick last frame. I think I'm okay there. I might shift it over and down a bit. So let's run this, and then I will change over to the finer laser, and we'll give that a run with the same rows and see how you see the difference. So with 16 people on, hi guys, how is everyone who's out there? If you haven't been to the channel before, please like, subscribe. Yes, I'm here with my cool laser glasses to keep my eyes safe while I'm burning. But please like, subscribe, and ding that bell so you get notified when I do more of these live streams. I do them fairly regularly, at least I try to. I don't always have stuff to show on Saturdays, but I do regular hangouts every Wednesday where people just come in and talk and hang out as members of the maker community and chat about stuff. We don't always talk about 3D printers, we talk about lasers, we talk about CNCs, we talk about astronomy, we talk about everything. So there's no real limits on what we discuss. So that's going. Let's see how that comes out, and then after this I'll shut it down. I'll switch lasers over to the finer beam, and we'll give that a try. Love the smell of burning wood, you know? It's a nice smell. So, I like the larger lasers when I'm at home and doing stuff. I like the smaller lasers when I'm not at home and I want to bring something with me. It has its advantages. You, as I said, Laser Gerbil will run on Windows and Mac and OS, and it'll run on Linux and so on. I like Lightburn. Lightburn is Windows, Mac, and Unix, but it won't run on a Pi. The only reason why I haven't switched over to a Pi to control or to a different board like a Gerbil board on my CO2 laser is I operate my CO2 laser with a Raspberry Pi, and I can't run Laser Gerbil over there or Laser Lightburn on the Pi. So the bundle you got, we order it or is separate. I would check out their site. I didn't see the pack that I got, which has all the lasers. They have options in there, and I'm not sure if you can select them all. So you'd want to ping them and ask them, and they will respond to you. So let's see how that looks. That looks kind of good. Okay, so if you look, some of the lines it's pretty close. So I'm going to change. Let me shut this down, and I promised I would change over the laser. And I'm going to unplug this to make sure there's no power. So you have to use your Allen key. Where did I put my Allen key? Because you have to take off the only thing I would change actually on this or any of these lasers, this grounding wire, it should be a plug rather than having to do this. Like if you're doing a laser where it's only one setup, that's fine. But when you're changing, having the grounding wire to be pluggable would be nice. That's about all. Okay. So unplug that, remove this laser, and I have other thumb screws, but I'm actually going to steal this one. It's just as easy. I'm looking at their site, and you can pick the unit and add extra laser. Okay, then you can add it all together. That's cool. So you can get the multi-box like I have, and they have add-ons. Like I'm taking this on and off, and I have to adjust this screw to move it up and down on this axis. But they do have a unit that goes on here to replace this that I have on the Laser Master 2 over here. I'll show you that in a moment. And that allows you to use a thumb screw to actually move your laser up and down. But I'll show you that in a moment. And since this is going straight on, I just need the focus bar for it. They do not show the L2U2. Okay, maybe that comes as default then. I'm not sure. As I said, ping the guys. They're very helpful and responsive. I've always found them to be really good and they're responsive. Okay, that's our focus. And I'm going to turn around with a new card. But ping them. The kit I got. I don't need that one. Actually, that's an aluminum card. I could actually burn that's anodized aluminum. So you can actually burn that with the anodization off the back and do business cards. So actually, I'm going to do two. So I'm going to do my logo, and I will do I'll do the rose again. So we'll compare the two. So re-plug in the new laser. Remember, this is a 7-watt laser, so I'm going to have to slow down my speed for this one. And when you're attaching this, make sure you attach this in an orientation that it keeps this cable up. It lifts this cable up out of the way by turning this when you attach it so it stays up out of your way and doesn't fall into your travel path. So, plug in our laser and power on. So hold for 5 seconds. There it goes, we're in. So I'm going to do the same logo again. So I'm going to do shift and I'm going to frame. So I need to be down here. Let me check one thing. Wind power is 5%. I forgot to do the minimum power to 5%. Just let me share my screen to you and show you again. Share my screen. So what I forgot to do is set my minimum power here to 5% because when you do a shift and frame, the laser won't fire unless you set a minimum power. So when I go back over to doing the close-up screen again, I will shift and I do frame. Oh, it didn't fire that time. I'll look at it later. I'm not too worried about it. I think I'm on the frame for that. It's okay. So we're going to run this one again now in a lower one. Now I'm going to change some settings. I am going to drop my speed. Actually, no, I'm going to increase my my power to 80%. And we'll see how it does at 80%. I may have to drop the speed down, but we'll give it a try. Because this is our first time using this. They do show the L2U2 separately. Okay. So you can do you can get all the options, but this is a kit that has all of them in it. I'll check the box in a moment to see if there's a part number on it. But you can always reach out to them and they'll come back to you and let you know. So let's run this and see how it goes. So that's very faint. So I'm going to stop it. That is very faint, so I want to slow it down. And that's at 80%, and that's 4200. So I'm going to bring it down to about 3000, which is much slower. And let's give it a run again, because it is a much lower power laser. I may even have to go slower again, or up power. Yeah, it's not enough power. Stop. Home again. I'll have to change the power settings again. I'll have to bring it way down to about 2000. To get it even close to being as dark as what I had previously. So it's going to look a bit messy because I went over it multiple times. Hey John, how are you? So you should, if you're looking at Dominic, if you want to get a kit like I have, If it's not on their site, reach out to them and tell them that you saw the kit. I will also ask them for the part number of that kit. Maybe there's a way of ordering that part number, but if you ping them and let them know what you're looking for, they'll give you the pricing and so on of that kit. I thought they had a full kit on their site, but you said you have the option of adding stuff separately. Maybe it comes by default with the lower power laser and then whatever higher power laser you choose. I'm not sure. So ask them for those details. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help you out. And they do have a sale right now. So the low power laser, as I said, on its own is with the low power is $220.79, and then the two high powered ones are 20 watt lasers are $303.59 for each one. I'm assuming because my kit came with all three lasers, it's a little extra. So the bottom is going to look a little bit messier because I did try it 2 or 3 times before I got the right settings. Hey Jesse, how are you? So while that's running, let me show you. You are asking about there is an option. I'll show you on the Laser Master 2. There is an option where you can actually have an adjuster where you replace this little simple screw with a unit like this. You can actually move your Z up and down quite freely. And that's easier for adjusting, especially if it's like this came with one laser, so you're not moving stuff around. But it does have that adjuster option on the. You can buy it from their site. I think it's $60 or for it as an addition. Oh, looks like a last package. But I think it's $60 for the edition. It's easy enough to add in. So you take off the plate that's on there right now and you put on their plate. Okay, yeah, no, my power wasn't high enough, or my speed is too high for the lower power laser. So now I have an idea that when we go back to do the rows, we're going to do it at a much lower speed. Hey Michael, how are you? Yeah, it's not high enough power to do the grayscale. Not at this speed. I'd have to slow it way down. For the 7 watt laser, the 20 watts have no problem whatsoever. And you have the 20 watt with the air assist option as well. So I'm gonna, when I go to do I'll show you what the output was. I need to go way slower, but I will then bring it way down to maybe, I have it at 2000, maybe. I'm guessing 800 to do the rows. I'm guessing maybe 1000. This is almost done. Congo needs that adjuster for fine thumb screw. Yeah, well, this has a thumb screw option that comes with it by default, but there is the adjuster unit which I have on the Laser Master 2, and that really does make, because it's only a single fixed laser head, it does make adjusting for all of that way easier. So you just put your spacer, put your part on the table, space underneath it, wind it down, you're done. It does make a big difference. I like that. I would actually consider, I might actually buy 1 or 2 more and maybe switch out some of the other units that are here, but some of the other lasers I have with that adjuster. I'll get them at some point. I like to have that ability, and you could even mod it to put a stepper motor on it, and you could actually drive it up and down with software if you wanted to. Because there is, I know on the Laser Master 2, I'm not sure this one, on the Ortur there is a port on there where you can plug in the Z axis, so you can actually control your Z. So that came out okay on text, but not so good in the grayscale. So I'm going to try the rows. I'm going to import the rows again, and we'll with a finer laser we'll give that a try. Let's see. Open. So I just have to resize this way down. Hey Stephen, how are you? Soldering together another 8x8x8. Oh, okay. So let's give the other side of this and see how this frames out. Okay, it's not even close. Oh, that's warped. I can't use that one. That's actually badly warped. That's probably why I didn't do good with the engraving either, because it's badly warped. So is that one. I'll do the back of this instead. It's fairly flat. And I'm going to recheck my focus on that. Let's try. Oh, it's way too big. I think we're close enough. Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, we know Tripod's garage is warped. Sorry, John. Couldn't resist. Badly warped Tripod's garage. Yes, that's true. Let's see. So I just got that in place. I'm going to change the settings of this at 80%, and I'm going to bring it down from 2000 to 1000 millimeters because it is a lower powered laser. And I'm going to leave the settings at 80%. And let's see how, at grayscale settings. Yeah. So let's give this a run. What? Did I change this? That's not even burning. Did I change something here? That was burning a moment ago, so it's not even burning now. The laser came on. Let's see. Power maximum 80%, speed 1000. That didn't even mark. Give it a try again. Let me just double check those settings. 1000. Pass count is 1. Intervals. Speed 1000. Let's try that again. Let's frame it first. Let's give it a run. That's better. So that's what 2x speed is for. So this is engraving, and I'm running at 1000 at 80%, and that's with the lower powered 7 watt input laser, which is one or 1.5 watts output. So we're doing the rows again. So I did this rows with the other laser, which has a wider laser beam, and we're going to do a comparison between the two. Size might vary because I didn't do one and switch directly over and leave the size, so I had to resize it again. Any food scarification? No, I don't have any food on here. I'm sorry. That's Tripod's thing. Tripod does all the food. It starts marking up food and labeling hot dogs and. Can't steal his ideas. He won't do that. And I'm not going to engrave my whole desk with one of the big ones. Can it cook a hot dog? No. Can it burn a hot dog? Yeah, somewhat. Will it burn your hand if you put it underneath it? Most definitely. It won't burn as bad. It will burn. It wouldn't be as bad a burn. Like if your hand went under the laser, it would hurt. It wouldn't be as bad as a CO2 laser. The CO2 laser would burn deep very fast. This will take a little bit more time to get through the skin. This is probably a little bit bigger than I did before, so let's see how it turns out, because the size is slightly different. 1.75x, so I can understand Ike. I'm actually bummed that Lightburn didn't do Black Friday. Are you sure that I thought? Let me check that. Lightburn software right now. We have a limited support. Okay, that's limited support staff by Lightburn. It's $60. I thought they had dropped to 40. Reach out to Congro. Congro are doing. Try them. Message them on Facebook. They are selling Lightburn with their lasers as a kit, and I think it's $40 more. No. Well. A diode laser of 7 watts will not. It will etch it. It will not do clear plexiglass. It will do. It will etch darkened plexiglass unless you like cover it with a paint or whatever. The 20 watt could burn or could cut thin plexiglass, maybe 3 to 5 millimeters, but it has to be dark color, like a black plexiglass. It might get through. Ideally, if you want to do cutting, a diode laser is not where you want to be. For cutting, I'd go with a CO2 laser, or you could also go with the. You can cut with diodes. It takes a lot longer. You have to move a lot slower. If you really want to cut a CO2 laser or a DPSS laser, which is a solid state dipole laser, which you can look up DPSS lasers. There's guys out there who sell them. A DPS laser, SS laser will cut more materials faster because it's a lot more powerful laser. This is what the price has doubled in the last month. So I would check out, let's see here. Nope, they're not going to do it either. I think Congro is offering Lightburn at a $40 increase in price if you want to include it as a set. It's either them or it's a SaintSmart. Reach out to them. They may have a bulk licensing agreement so they can sell it cheaper as part of a kit. They might be able to sell it to you cheaper. Ask them. Well, we're almost done anyway. We're going to see how this turns out, and do a comparison of it. So we're pretty much done after this burns. So this is bigger than the last rows I did. So there will be a little more. The detail will show up a bit better, but we'll be able to see some differences. And speed is very different. This is a quarter. This is almost a quarter the speed as I did with the original one. And if you're not around, Old Cudgeon, well then take care and have a good rest of your weekend. Well, you know, every now and again they drop the price of $40 Lightburn. I got it actually at $40, but you can reach out to them and ask. But also ask Congro, and I think SaintSmart adds it in for a $40 increase, so they may have bulk licensing. You can try these guys, message them. If they do have bulk licensing, they may be able to do you a deal. If not, it's $60. But the thing is, $60 gives you a year of upgrades. So it's like a subscription. If you want to get the latest and greatest features after a year, I think you have to pay another $60, or they have a renewal fee of $40 or something like that, for return customers. So check that one out. Okay, this is not very big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this image where it is, and I'm going to switch back with the same size to the other laser, and you can do a comparison. Let's see how because this is taking up less than half the space on this board. What cantilever you have coming in, Rich? This is the laser. This is the Ortur Aufero laser 1. And the one I got came with all 3 laser heads available. So it's a low power 7 watt and the 220 watts. One short focus, one long focus. Long focus comes with an air assist option. So let me know which one you're getting next week. So let's see. I have a what burned me about the Z1 is they use mini V-slot rollers. Yes, they did. So I'm going to this is going to use half the area. I'm going to move this down and reburn this again. But I'm going to change the laser to the lower power laser, so you can see them side by side. So let me shut this off again. And I'm going to unplug. I need to switch out the lasers to the other laser head. I'm going to unplug this completely. And I'm going to put in the higher end laser head, and then we can do a comparison on the quality of the cut from one set to the other. Diwali? What are you talking about? Diwali? Why are we talking about an Indian holiday? Yeah, Lightburn is very good, and like Rich's channel is really good. He knows an awful lot about Lightburn. And he said, well, his claim to fame is he read the manual. That's how he says he knows it. He just read the manual. He did an RTFM, which is fantastic because yeah, the manual has a lot of information on it. I have to admit, I haven't read all the manual. I've read pieces of it. How was your Thanksgiving, Rich? I know you were away with family. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I never plugged in the laser. That would really help. It won't fire without the laser plugged in. Wait, this is the one you're getting? The Laser Master? Or the L1? Yeah, it's a nice machine. Like, if you get the, I don't know which kit you're getting. I got a kit with all 3 laser heads. So let's get, since I'm doing the exact same cut in the same place, the only difference is I moved the positioning. Okay, so we're set up. I'm going to do a frame to make sure it's still over the part, but it should be because I didn't move anything. Okay, that's going to cover the bottom of that. So I might engrave a little bit on it, but that's okay. And I'm going to change the settings on this back to where I had it. I had it 60%, and it was at 4,500? No, 4,800 I think it was. Yeah, because this was really fast. Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen the Diwali one. Yeah, I haven't seen that laser. 5.5 watt. Okay. Okay, so this is cool. So these are 5.5 watts. Okay, so we've set up the speed. Exact same. I've changed nothing, so you can do a side-by-side comparison of the finer detail laser head, which was doing at about 1,000 millimeters a second at 80%, and this is going to do the same thing, same image, at with this 20 watt laser at 4,800 at 60%. Let's go. Let's see how it works out. That's rocking. Going fast. Big speed difference. So it's 4 times. It's almost 5 times the speed. Okay, I haven't come across that one. So we're going to see the quality difference between the wider laser beam, because the 20 watt laser, which is the one that's on right now, which is the LU2-4 long focus, is a 0.175 by 0.25 focal laser beam width. Hey Tim, how are you? And then the original one, the one that I tried out with, which is the 7 watt laser, the LU2-2, is a 0.07 by 0.06 focal point laser. So it's really a much finer detail laser. And this has been done way, way, way faster. So we're getting there. Make sure, guys, you share the stream with other guys, with your friends, okay? Get them to like and subscribe and ding that bell. We want to get my numbers up. I've been hovering around just about 550 or so. And I want to push those numbers out, push the numbers high. Okay. Same image, faster speed, higher powered laser. And we're just done. Way faster. Oh, by the way, when you do have diode lasers, you should leave it powered on for 10 minutes or so after you finished. You want that laser to cool down. If you don't, you will shorten its life. Okay, so the other one is lighter in color, but it's the same image, and if you look really close, let me see how it looks here on the screen. Sorry, let me bring up my... There we go. If you look really close, the bottom does have a lot more detail. Way more detail. On the leaves and so on. It does make a difference when you're doing fine detail. So, if you're doing really fine detail, the lower power laser, which is a 7 watt, even though you're moving much slower, it does have a finer beam, therefore you get a much finer detail when you're actually engraving. And then when you're doing the, if you don't care about fine detail like that, then you're going to put me as a collaborator on my next video, Liam? Okay. Okay. What did I do? What did I do wrong? And then the if you want to do if you don't care about the fine detail, if you don't mind stuff bleeding into each other, then the more higher power lasers, the 20 watt lasers, and there's 2 types. This is the 20 watt with the widest beam that's the long focal length LU2-4, which is a 0.17 by 0.25 focal point, and then you have the short focal length one, which is this one that has the magnetic attachments for the shield. The short focal is the LU2-4 SF, short focal length. That is a 0.12 by 0.15. So that's closer to being square, but it is a larger focal point. And these will do the job faster. They will cut deeper. They will engrave deeper, depending on the finish you're looking for. Yeah, Rich, ping me a list to those guys. Yeah, the 0.25, which is the 7 watt laser, does really good detail. And this one is this one, as I said, is a 0.07 by 0.06 focal point, which is really fine. So if you want fantastic fine detail, like if you're doing a photograph, like an image of somebody, and there's super fine detail in there, then the lower power laser is better because it has the finer focal point. And if you don't care about that, or if you want to do stuff faster and you don't care about fine detail, then either of the two, either the long focal length one that has the air assist. If you want to go cutting, get the one with the air assist. That's the ideal one. Or the short focal length it's for engraving. It doesn't need a distance, so it's for engraving. But this other one, the long focal length one, does have the long focal length one does have the air assist, and it comes with everything you need as well for the air assist to get it working, including the air tubing. All comes as a kit, as part of the kit. So that makes it. I actually like the combination kit. it gives you a lot more flexibility in a single unit. And the nice thing about it is any of the Ortur lasers are compatible. So you can I can take the laser off. I can take my Laser Master 2 Pro and I can put these lasers on there because it's the exact same connections. The same for all of these. I can actually switch them over and back. So similar to 3D printer old. I don't know. What about the old incandescent bulbs? I don't know where you're going with that. So, this is nice. It's a new machine. And actually, Rich, can you send me the detail about those the Diwali company? If you don't mind. But I'd like to, I like this machine. It's nice. And the one thing I really like about it is it's slightly longer on the x-axis. So it's a 180 by 180, which is nice because normally they're 180 by 160, like an A4 sheet. This is wider than that. So you can actually do a square. And it's a 5-minute setup. I took it out of the box, took on the laser, plugged it in, I'm done. So, and there's no air pump with this, no. But if you have an air pump for any other laser, you can buy a fish tank air pump. A sizable fish tank air pump will do the same job, Rich. It's not moving much here, you just want directed air. I'd say less. Okay, I don't know where that's going. So, yeah, but you can, like I have an air assist that I use for my CO2 laser. I could use that for this with an adapter. I have, and like I don't do a lot of burning. I like inside the house, especially this time of year. But I do have a tent. I do have a 3D printer enclosure that I can put inside, and that will have to do the air extraction from there. So it's not. You don't need much air for air assist. You need directed air with some pressure behind it, so it blows out the shaft as the laser cuts. And if the flame starts up, it'll actually blow it out because there's enough air pressure to do it. If it's a fish tank air pump would do the job. You can get bigger ones for about $50 like I have on Amazon, $50-$60. Jerry posted the link there earlier on. If you're there, Jerry, post the link again. It works great. You don't need huge air throughput, but you need a good flow of air that can be pressurized, and that works great. And I will use on my CO2 all the time. So that is the Ortur, the what's it called? The Aufero. I want to make sure I enunciate it correctly. The Ortur Aufero L1. So if you want a mobile laser, this is a nice little machine for that. And it does have the ability to. You can get it. It doesn't come with one, but the R4 offline controllers can run on this as well. So you have the offline controller if you want to use it. And you can have mounting points here if you want to mount it permanently to a board, but I wouldn't. To me, this is a mobile unit. It's light, it's easy to move around. It's very versatile. I like it. It's very, very light. Very, very light. Yeah, I couldn't remember. Yeah, I want to make sure I enunciated it. I had to look to make sure I saw the name to make sure I enunciated. Like they have the Aufero CNC as well. So that's like a grouping name. I have their Aufero CNC. It's over there. That actually, let me show you that offline controller they use. I believe the same offline controller will work. They have actually, it's like a cell phone that they have, and it just plugs in. So you have the offline controller. That's after CNC, but I believe it's only a firmware difference is all that's going to be different between one to the other. Same axis, X, Y. The only difference is on a CNC you have Z movement. This doesn't have Z movement. And the first one was the 3018, which I have. And they've actually come out and they've actually done some upgrades to the 3018 that's actually in the lab right now. They're testing. So they're actually going to offer the 3018 CNC. Let me show you the one. I'll show it to you altogether. This is their 3018 CNC. Nice device. I've used it many times. I like it. All aluminum frame. There's no plastic anywhere on this. And the hand controller has a nice little cradle. Great little machine, works fine. Never had a problem with it. I've used it a lot. So, and that's the offline controller for this. But they have actually made some changes to that. That actually is running through, that they're actually in testing right now. And the shortage of parts is actually slowing everything down at the moment. But they are actually in the process of doing some upgrades to that machine. And I believe they're going to offer upgrade kits rather than having to replace the machine, which is really nice. So I have that one. I have this Aufero Laser 1, which I like actually. I just unboxed today. And I have the Laser Master 2. I don't have the original Laser Master. I have the Laser Master 2 Pro, which I also like a lot, and I use it a lot. So, any other questions, guys? Any last questions or comments or anything? So, it is the Aufero, Ortur Aufero Laser 1, with nice mobile device, really easy setup. Comes all assembled except for attaching your laser head, and you can choose different laser heads. Just a recap on the laser heads, you have the LU2-2, which is a 7 watt, and its focal point is 0.07 by 0.06. It's a really fine detail. Then you have the short focal length 20 watt, which is the LU2-4, and that's a 0.12 by 0.15 focal point. And then you have the LU2-4 long focal length that comes with the air assist, and that's at 0.17 by 0.25. Any thoughts on the air assist for your Z1? If you're going to do an air assist for a Z1, I would just get a piece of, this is me, I know you asked Rich about it too, but I would get a piece of copper piping that you get for a gas line. I would make a mount to mount it on the side of the enclosure of the laser, because this is the congruent here. I would just get a piece of copper pipe and mount it on the side of the laser here. So it goes, or maybe down the back, so it goes around down the back, because there is an opening in the back of the shield, back here. And I would mount it there and run an air pipe. Just have an air pipe coming off that into your compressor. That's all you need to do, and you could flatten the end of the gas line a little bit to make it fit. So it actually, the air comes out more compressed. That's all I would do. When you cut, should you focus the laser at the top or the bottom? Okay. Depending on the material, if you're doing 3mm material, I would focus the laser so it's 1mm below the surface. If you're doing 5mm material, you'd have to do more than one pass on a low powered laser, and I would focus at 1.5mm down, and then I'd drop it again for pass 2. And if you do have to do multiple for thicker material, I would be dropping my Z. So here's the issue. When you're dealing with long focus lasers, so this is a long focus laser, distance down to the board is going to be some distance. You have the ability to move up and down. And a 20 watt long focus laser makes life easy because you have that clearance. When you're doing a short focal laser like this, you have very little room between this and your build plate. Very short distance. And when you have short distance between those, you do not have that much room to bring it down. So you may reach a limitation that you can't get deep enough through it. So the long focal laser beams are actually better, I think, for cutting than the short focal, which is why they've come out with a long focal laser that has the air assist. Take care, Rich. Yeah, we're just winding up here anyway. But so it depends. So at a 7 watt laser, I wouldn't use a 7 watt laser for cutting because it's really not designed for that. Can you? Yes, it'll take a long time and lots of passes. A 20 watt, yes, or 30 watt or whatever, yes, I would use those for cutting. Personally, I don't use them for cutting because I just use them for engraving. I cut with other stuff. But if I was going to do a 20 watt laser or a 30 watt laser, which is the equivalent of a 7-watt output, or 6.5, 7-watt output. When I was doing those, then I would, if we can do a single pass I would test it. If it does a single pass and it does 1.5 millimeters down, I would set my focal point at 1.5 millimeters down into the wood when I focus it. So the first pass would be we would cut through the first 1.5 millimeters, and it'll cut about a millimeter below that. And then I would drop, and then maybe 2 passes might do it. But you may have to drop it after 1 or 2 passes each time to get through. It's all about where you concentrate the light, because that's how a laser works. A laser takes light, concentrates it down into a fine beam, and where that beam meets focus, after that focus point, it widens out again. So you want to reach the focal point should be where you want to cut, or at least halfway through it. But if the material is too thick and the laser can't cut that deep, then you do multiple passes and you drop it each time to get deeper and deeper. But the short focal length or the fixed focal length, like the Conroe, has a fixed focal distance. And the fixed focal distance and the shield can limit your travel up and down, so you may not be able to cut all the way through certain materials. You want to add a BL touch for assisted focus. Gerbil, I don't think Gerbil would support a BL touch. I don't believe it supports BL touches. I know there's a new diode laser coming out, and it does have automatic focusing, and it uses a sensor, an optical sensor. I'm not sure. I think they may have added something into an extension to Gerbil to accommodate that, or they're not using a normal Gerbil board. They could be using something like a 3D printer board, which you can use, because commands are XYZ commands, right? So you could use a 3D printer main board and use that to do Z adjust, and then you could use something like a BL touch. Marlin or clipper on the board, well, yeah. Then that's basically a 3D printer board. But the boards that come in these won't take Marlin or clipper, Marlin. They're very basic Arduino boards. They won't take Marlin or clipper. They do not have that ability. With an EVA 17, yeah. So on this one, the LaserMaster 2 Pro, I have a manual adjust here. It's actually screw driven. You could actually put a stepper on that if you want to. Yes, removing the shield, but it also exposes you to the laser beam and light, and so you have to be very careful. If you take the shields off them, you have to be very careful who's around and that there's nobody in around, because the laser beam light is going straight down. That's never the problem. The problem is always the reflected light. That's where you run into issues, because the reflected light is UV, and UV will damage your eyes real fast. So, because when you're burning material, it's actually giving off ultraviolet light. So be careful. Make sure you put it into an enclosure away from people, and never leave a laser on its own. Never. So they're good ideas, guys, and there are some guys who are coming out with it, but I'm sure they're using something like a Marlin or a supported board that will actually do a sensor for leveling. There is one that's actually out right now. I think it's in Kickstarter somewhere. I don't know. I saw something about one recently. I can't remember where it is or who it is. They just say assisted focus, not automatic. Well, if you knew the focal distance, you could actually it could automate it for you completely. But so it's like in a printer, you do the Z offset, right? But you just have it do the Z offset, and then it'll learn it, and then that's when it'll come down and stop, probe, and then it'll do your laser cut. So you could actually automate it. You would have to do, well, you wouldn't have to do babysitting between passes, because you'd have to you create a G code, and Lightburn supports Z movement. So you could do a pass, do a Z movement down in Lightburn, and then do another pass, and do a Z movement down and do another pass. That's possible. I know, but I'm just saying you can do it. And even in your 3D printer, you can move your Z up or down during your print. So you can do your Z, or if you're doing a Marlin driven board, you could do a pass and then drop Z, and then do a pass and drop Z by whatever distance you want, 1 millimeter or whatever. That's possible. It just means copying and pasting the code. It's feasible to do it. some people use like 3D printer boards to do like 3D printing, like pen plotters. So and that's basically a Z movement. So it's all possible. So any other questions, guys? If not, I'm going to give you back the rest of your day. We've been going for almost 2 hours, which is short, but it was fun. We tried lots of different options. We tried the logo. We did the let me go to closer camera. We did the logo. Where am I? Did my logo, which has been revamped at the moment. We did the Avengers logo, which came out nice. We did one pass of a rose, which came out pretty good. On the wider focal beam laser, the one with the air assist. Then we did a finer detail logo. We did two logos here. That was with the finer laser beam, so it is actually much more detail. And then with the larger beam width laser, and we did a comparison of the two, and it came out really nice. So for fine detail, smaller, the 7-watt laser is the way to go. The 2-watt, and for burning, for faster burning, or if you don't care about fine detail, and if you want to do some cutting, you have the short focal laser, or you have the long focal laser here with the air assist option. So guys, I think that's it for us today. If there's no other questions, I think we can wrap it up. Thank you for joining me. Remember, like, subscribe, ding that bell if you haven't done so already. There are links below if you want to buy this. There is links to Ortur. If you click on that link, they actually do their affiliates through somebody else, through a company, third party. So the link will not say Ortur if you look at the affiliate link in the description. But click on that affiliate link, and that will bring you over to Ortur's site where you can do your purchasing. If you're interested in buying this or any of the Ortur products, please check it out. And thank you guys, and I hope you have a great weekend. It's been fun, as always, bringing you a product. I do not know what I have for next weekend yet. There is a product on way, but I do not know when it'll get to me. With shipping delays and so on. Hopefully it'll get here by next weekend. If not, it'll be the following weekend. But I'll definitely be on the Hangout on Wednesday night. Remember, 7 p.m. Eastern Hangouts. And hopefully by this time next week, I'll have something else to show you, something new. That is not a laser, maybe. So, check it out, and like, subscribe, ding that bell, and guys, I will see you. Remember, don't buy it, guys. Just make it. Take care, and have a great weekend.